Gaussian splatting is a neural rendering technique. What it is allows you to take images and videos of a space or of an object, and it uses AI,
The easiest way to say it, it's like an ecosystem.
the real world and of simulated worlds as well, just because of how efficient the rendering is.
This Gaussian splatting is like the newest version of 3D that could potentially be the basis of what we're all been talking about, this metaverse, right?
The AI doing its magic. It's possible because it's just very compute efficient. It's a way to really just stitch together things.
All right. Welcome to the podcast today. And we have Navjeet, CEO of Nucleus 4D. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and the company because your company is like fast moving. It seems like every time I talk to you, something new is unfolding. It's incredible. So take it away.
Yeah, I'm the CEO of Nucleus 4D. What we're looking to do is be the best way to showcase, inspect, and visualize physical spaces, where we tout ourselves as the future of property media, where you can scan a property once and generate all of the media from that property. And what I mean by that is things that used to take multiple pipelines and tools, such as photos, videos, 3D tours, floor plans, and measurements. We do that all from a single scan. It allows operators to reduce their time on site by 3 or 4 hours and reduce the amount of time it takes to edit videos and cinematography by a few hours after the fact.
There's a term that sounds really cool. I'm going to call it a mouth sandwich. I can say it. I don't know what it means. And maybe you can explain to me what it means. Gaussian splatting. Like this is the next generation of 3D scanning. Like what is it? I know the name, but I can't explain it. So
I'll put it in simple terms. So Gaussian splatting is a neural rendering technique. What it is allows you to take images and videos of a space or of an object, and it uses AI in the background to stitch those images into a true 3D object or scene. And it is just much more lightweight and has the ability to render efficiently on a lot of devices. How this is different from true 3D is in 3D, you're typically building things from the ground up. If you're building this room, that I'm sitting in, I would have to build the walls, build the floor, build that bookshelf behind me, every VR headset that's sitting there, the globe that's sitting there, the water bottle that's sitting there. And each one of those things building is a few megabytes or more, and when you add up a total scene, it gets into the hundreds of megabytes or the gigabytes. Massive scene sizes. And so with Gaussian splatting, essentially you're capturing photos and videos of that scene, and then you stitch it together in lightweight format that can easily be rendered and displayed on the web, and it works across, on mobile and most devices where you don't need a gaming computer or an Xbox or a PlayStation to view.
that's the part that's mind-boggling. You say a fraction, like how is that possible?
The AI doing its magic. It's possible because it's just very compute efficient. It's a way to really just stitch together things in a hyper optimized way where you're not building individual components, but as opposed to that, you're just building a layer of 3D that all fits together and is able to, you're essentially just seeing one singular layers of photos and pictures on top of each other that create the semblance of a 3D scene.
So it's almost like there's the original internet and then there's like the internet 2.0. This Gaussian splatting is like the 3D, the newest version of 3D that could potentially be the basis of what we're all been talking about, this metaverse, right? This is going to be the language that the metaverse would be built on.
Yeah, I think Gaussian splatting will enable the very simple creation of the metaverse because you don't have to, in order to represent the real world and even not just the real world, but simulated worlds, it's just a hyper efficient way of stitching things together. And it's just a leap forward in the quality and speed it takes to build something or render something on command.
That's the key, right? You said it, the leap forward. Maybe we can expand on it and maybe even show us an example of what this leap forward is.
Yeah, for sure. So the leap forward is, let me take you here. So as you see here, this is not like Matterport where you're hopping between bubbles, but you can actually explore this scene in true 3D. And so you can move and navigate all around as if you were inside of a video game. If you were to build this from the ground up in a 3D software or modeling program, this could take weeks for a group of artists to build this home. But instead, we were able to just capture this in under 30 minutes and build this home and be able to simply just walk around and tour it like a video game.
This is exciting. So what excites me is not just the fact that it's the Gaussian splatting and that you have this platform that has this user experience. The easiest way to say it is it's like an ecosystem that's well built, and it looks like it's growing in its abilities and what it can offer. And I think that is what's positive for me to when I'm looking at innovative technologies. Who do you invest in terms of equipment and services to provide? This checks a lot of boxes of the things that say to me, this is an ecosystem that I want to be part of. And so,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
It's the future of real estate. It's the future of gaming, film, entertainment, media. This is how, virtual film sets will be created in the future. This is how virtual environments will be created in the future without having to rebuild everything from scratch, especially of the real world and of simulated worlds as well, just because of how efficient the rendering is. For us as well, it's the most efficient way to capture real estate. We can simply walk around this home, both interior and exterior, as I'll show you here, and capture an entire property in 30 to 35 minutes, and then have the ability to simply walk around and, on commodity devices. In order to play a 3D scene like this, previously you would have needed a gaming computer with like a 3090 or a 4090 in it. And now you can play this on a Google Chromebook, or you can play this on an iPhone 8 in this quality.
So I'm just going to throw out an idea. I don't know if it's possible or if it's on your future to-do list. What's the possibility of merging like a hologram, like of a hologram of a person in this scene?
Oh, sorry. I think you cut out there, but last thing I heard was hologram, but yes, you can do that. So you can take a Gaussian splat scene, you can bring it into a game engine like Unity or Unreal, and you can easily add avatars or holograms or things like that. We could do it in our platform. It's just not, it's not a feature that's been widely requested, but essentially you just have to bring in an object or an animated object. And it's, even our viewer has the same type of, interactivity as like a game engine. It's just built specifically for real estate.
This almost reminds me of like when you're watching a movie of those instances in the future where someone is like, in a spaceship far away and they're recalling moments of their life on Earth, for example, and it's previewed in this hologram 3D projection. And that's what this is reminding me of, is like, wow, like that, this is no longer science fiction. It's real.
Exactly. It's a leap forward in 3D. I've been in the 3D space for many, many years. And prior to that, I was in the real estate and land development space. So for me, it's a leap forward in both of my previous careers and just, the future. And so it's the closest thing to magic. You just take some photos and videos and you can create a world you can explore on any device from anywhere in the world.
Delve into a little bit more because of the immensity of what this equipment can do. Maybe you can show the example of the Revit plugin, and I'll give some context to the audience who is wondering, what is a Revit plugin? So the manufacturer of the scanning equipment makes this thing where, of course, I'm speaking in layman's terms, where you scan the building and then it creates an LOD 100 model, and then you can go in and fine tune it and give it LOD 200 details, which is, something that would take weeks, a very long time. I mean, like, let's say you scan a 400,000 square foot building to get to the point where you're at an LOD 200 would take months and months and months and months, at least 3 months. So this compression of time is, maybe you could explain what we're looking at here on the screen.
Yeah, what we're looking at is basically, so just to back up for a sec, one of the best ways to create Gaussian splatting is a partner of ours. It's a company called XGrids. So while you can create Gaussian splats from phones and from DSLRs and Insta360 cameras, the most efficient way to do it is with a company called XGrids. They have a device that has 360 cameras, regular cameras, LiDAR, and a SLAM algorithm on device. So you can easily just walk around with this device, as you see here, walk around, it creates a point cloud, it creates a mesh. The company also has plugins into tools like Revit. So you can easily, with one click, plug into Revit, and it generates the base model of your property. And from that base model, you fine tune everything else. You can add objects and labels, what's a wall, door, windows, all of that sort of stuff. Things that used to take days or weeks is now reduced down to minutes and hours. And so they've created just the best device that we've seen on the market to date, not just for creating Gaussian splats, but creating as-built and engineering files as well.
Yeah, this tool, this pricey tool that is a worthy investment, of which you can, call a company to come out and scan your building. If you're looking to acquire a building, lease out a building, space plan a renovation, this is the perfect tool to go in, get it copied, get the drawings going so that you can start making some, impactful decisions and actions plans with this.
Exactly. It's a fantastic tool. They're making updates all the time on both the visualization side of things and in all the plugins that they have. So you can go from one scan, you can export that out into your engineering and as-built files. You can export it out into Unity, Unreal Engine, NVIDIA Omniverse. You can export out into, as of next week, a platform like Nucleus if you're in the real estate or property media space. So they just have, one scan leads to many, many outputs from the same file.
Without giving any details, I'm going to say that in the very near future, your company and your name is going to be in the center of real estate media across this country.
Yes, that's the plan. Where we've been working really closely with real estate media companies to really understand what their needs are, what their goals are, and consistently, time and time again, people have told us a few things. We want to spend less time making real estate media, but we want to make the best real estate media. And who they're selling to, typically realtors and brokers, they also want things like, how can we showcase a property without having to, for a realtor, leave my house, get in the car, go to the house I'm showing, kick the family out, show the house, drive back home. So we've even created tools, which is like a Zoom inside of the Gaussian splat. And so now they can send out a link to their client, and both the realtor and the client can meet inside of the virtual space. They keep that human connection, and the realtor can, basically show the client all around and answer any questions that they may have live.
Yeah, that's impressive. What do you think? I'm going to ask you this question because, I've spoken about this before in the previous podcast. What do you think is the future of this? What do you think is possible with this?
So what's possible with this technology is basically what, like I said, is one in the near term is the easiest, simplest way to document and create a digital twin of the world in a photoreal way. And I mean a true 3D digital twin, not hopping between 360 panoramas, but a true 3D digital twin. You can create your photos out of it. You can create your videos out of it, your measurements, your floor plans. That is today. But in the world of tomorrow, things that we're working on in the background is you're going to be able to type or speak to the home or the property like you speak to ChatGPT. You're going to prompt it and say, what does my home look like in a Bohemian style or a Scandinavian style? Wow. Just like just like the tools in ChatGPT or Nano Banana or Gemini do today. So it'll shift what it looks like. You'll be able to edit the 3D scene and then walk into that Bohemian or Scandinavian home. And then for some of our hotel clients, imagine you're hosting a wedding at a major hotel and you have the empty ballroom and you say, what would my wedding look like with a tropical theme or a Hawaiian theme? And all of a sudden you have what it looks like. And all that weeks of planning and designers and back and forth and placing things here and there, you're just going to be able to simply speak to it. So you're going to be able to, with your words, whether typing or speaking, be able to not only see the world from wherever you are, but also edit the world from wherever you are.
Yeah, that's right. I best way to say is I'm speechless of that, because wow. For all of we'll call it the clockmakers, the guys that care about the the engineering part of things. What is, how accurate is, the bigger device or the more expensive device?
Yeah, so you can get to 1 centimeter relative accuracy and about 2 centimeters accuracy just by doing a few multiple passes of a scene. So it's pretty accurate. It seems to work really well for a lot of our customers who are on the as-built engineering side of things. And, they just say it really streamlines their process for when they're creating those files.
Yeah. In the planning standpoint, that's lightning speed. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So, I foresee my company, being an owner of these devices and working with you and in your software here in the near future.
Excellent. Well, we hope you do. It's, we're taking the real estate media world by storm. And, from what we're hearing from some of the largest brands in hospitality and what we're hearing from real estate media companies, all the way from single operators all the way to enterprise level companies, is they're seeing a lot of efficiency. They're spending a lot less time on site. They're generating more profit for their businesses while handing off deliverables that their realtor and broker partners are in love with.
Nice. You mentioned the videos. Now, if you were to talk to videographers, they're going to squawk. You would talk to they're going to squawk about, their video cameras, and the, cinematic effects that cinema type cameras have and cinema lenses. Would you be doing some sort of translation of things for that in your generator that generates scenes for video?
Yeah. So we're actually working with real estate media companies like videographers that have told us how they'd like their videos to be made. Because for them right now, they go do a 1 hour scan and we're producing a video that does impossible drone shots, things that they would need to set up, do multiple takes going from outside to inside to every single room in one shot. And, for any drone operator, they know how difficult that is. And especially if there's blinds or curtains or things like that inside the house, that's going to start flapping everything everywhere. So I'll show you the types of videos you can create out of our platform. This is just interior to exterior, but we can also do drone. So this is a drone type video. So going from exterior all the way to interior, there was no drone or video used here. This was all captured with a expert's device. So you can go inside the window, through the window, do these turns, a tight turn around a lamp, which you probably wouldn't try to do in, a home like this, or go just a centimeter over that lamp and then do a one continuous shot of this home, basically in like the fashion that you'd like to see. So for our real estate media partners, they love this because now they can create infinite content from one scan and say, the house is on the market for 60 days, 90 days. And now you want a video of the top floor. You now don't need to go back into that home and go reshoot the top floor. You simply go into the Nucleus platform and generate a video from the top floor. And so all of this stuff can be created from the Nucleus platform.
So this is a very oversimplified question. does the software pick the movements, or do you like maneuver to make the movements?
So in its current state, we have templates where we create the movements that real estate media companies like, and then we fine tune them by hand in a few minutes with a human. But in the future, we have an AI that's actually labeling every single thing that's in a house, from that chair to that bed to a front door to a hallway. So we're going to have templates where the AI knows you go from the front door to a place called the kitchen. You do a semicircle around the kitchen island. Then you go to a place called the living room and you do a semicircle around that object called a sofa. And so our AI is learning over thousands, hundreds and thousands of videos of what works best. And it's labeling, and from the scan, it's labeling everything in the background so we can produce these types of videos automatic.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I need to get one. I gotta get one. I gotta start using one.
Yeah. No, it's great. Great tool. We work very closely with with XGrids on this. They're going to have an API into our system, and basically, for companies like yourself, you simply go scan, and we produce the rest of those deliverables for you. So this company is a stem of both. My entire career has led up to this. I started my career in land development. I've built about 100 homes, apartment buildings, multifamily projects. And throughout that time, I just fell in love with showcasing to people what a property could feel like. We would create these architectural visualizations and renderings, but that was before the home was built. And then after the home was built, that's when I was finishing off my career. That's when companies like Matterport were just coming out. And it was a leap forward at that time where, you could explore a digital twin of the house, but it was still locked in those bubbles. And then from there, because I fell in love with 3D, I went and started a 3D innovation studio. And the main focus of that studio was building digital twins for Fortune 500. So we would build stores for Walmart and Wayfair. We would build dealerships for Porsche and Acura. We would build buildings for Gensler. And you could tour those around like a video game. But those cost tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands to build per project, and months of time. And we would add layers of interactivity and AI on top. And so it was never scalable to the wider market, to anybody that had a home or a building. It only worked for people who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so when I saw an opportunity to bring this to the masses and for anyone to be able to explore real estate anywhere in the world as if they were actually there, and not only just explore real estate, but produce all of the media that was involved in real estate, because I did this as a home builder, I jumped on it. It was the most logical thing to do, was bring this technology to the masses. And so it's been a long time coming. I spent the last 2 decades of my life building up to where Nucleus is today.